Just because the dengue virus is here on Guam doesn't mean that it will be present in the future. A representative from the CDC was quick to share Guam's efforts in combating the virus so that dengue does not become endemic to the island. At the informational briefing, stakeholders posed various questions in hopes of gaining clarity on the dengue infection. One question posed by the public stemmed off of the old adage, what came first, the chicken or the egg? The CDC says that it is far more plausible that the emergence of dengue on the island was brought on by a person who contracted the virus elsewhere and came to Guam, where the individual then got bit by a local mosquito, triggering the infection of local mosquitoes. Now that it is here, Guam has taken a united front in their approach by educating island residents about reducing the prevalence of mosquitoes around their homes. This raised the question, is the dengue virus transmittable to mosquito larvae through the laying of eggs by an infected mosquito?
Generally for dengue, they find that that's not the case. And so for the most, it's not the case. That being said, our world is a big world and there's nothing's absolute, right? So they have found in very rare instances, once in a while it might transmit to the eggs, but for the most part it doesn't.
Another parent question, what is being done to isolate the patients that are infected? This was answered by our island's Magahaga, Lulian Guerrero, who also served as a nurse.
In previous discussions with other experts on dengue fever, the way to isolate them is just to tell them, like the doctor said, is avoid getting bitten by the mosquito. And if you have your symptoms, your signs and symptoms of dengue, stay in the house, don't go out until you are without the fever. And then that's when you're considered non-contagious.
But this is not because you will infect the person next to you. Instead, it's to avoid infecting other mosquitoes. She says government resources are being used to clear debris in areas deemed high risk, educating the public and bringing in experts to help respond to the infection. Serious concerns were raised as just last month there was no dengue virus on island. And in a matter of weeks, the number of confirmed cases has risen to 7, with high-risk areas being named to include Manila, Orot, Chalampago, and Dededo, and also with the government advising residents to expect more cases of infection. But this is not the first time Guam has had a dengue scare. PNC posed a question as it related to the first scare 75 years ago, asking whether or not the government and military were exploring the use of military aircraft to spray the island, and whether or not that would be effective in combating the infection.
I can say that Guam has been in discussion with CDC entomologists at both at Dengue branch in Fort Collins, or in San Juan, the CDC Dengue branch, as well as entomologists from CDC's Division of Vector-Borne Diseases out of Fort Collins, discussing options on what is the best way to really try to reduce and limit the spread of infection. And in those discussions, all options are being evaluated and considered. At this point, I don't think that there's been a decision that would be an option.